Hey guys, this is Mario. Most of you know me as a Grandmaster tier and mech player, although I can play every race, and including Bio, to Grandmaster. And one of the things I want to do is expand my YouTube channel a bit. Although playing mech is really fun, it's my primary thing, I want to expand into the other races as well, especially on my YouTube. So one of the things I'm going to show you now is a Zerg against Protoss. StarCraft is a really fun game. And part of that fun is, just experiencing every single different type of race. Although you can have pride in your own race, I think once you get to a certain stage, it's better that you know how to play all the races and all the matchups to some degree, as it will help you in your main race. So that's one of the reasons I play random. Currently, my random account is sitting about high masters, and I'm facing grandmasters on a regular basis. Thus, what am I as a grandmaster? So this game is against a grandmaster player. Previously, I've been random grandmaster several times. The highest I've achieved it is rank 26 about 6 months ago. So I try to refresh it on a at least half a year basis. And this is one of those times. Now, if you guys like these types of videos, if you Zerg players, enjoy my feedback and input, I will do more of these, and I will keep expanding my knowledge with all the races and just do different videos for each race. In this specific game, we go ahead and spawn in the bottom corner. Now there's two ways that we can go ahead and send our overlords. We can send our first one here or our first one here. In this situation on this map, I like to send my first overlord to this location because I can kind of retreat over here and keep an eye on the natural. If the Protoss is going for a forge first, I can see it relatively early on and sit here and watch his wall, maybe his gas visors, and then I can retrieve this overlord, which is heading in this direction, over here to watch the corners of his base, maybe move in at the right time, and so forth. One of the reasons I do not like to go in this section is because it takes longer to get to the wall from here to here than from here to here. So it's a lot closer. Let's say that he goes a gateway expansion, he goes for a stalker. I want to be able to retreat on time. Now I'm not sure on the exact timings, but I want to play it safe. I also want to be able to keep a close eye on his wall, because if there's nothing at his front, he's definitely not forge expanding. One of the reasons that we're sending this overlord not to the front is because if he's not forge expand, if we come over here and we see no forge expansion, either he's in this location or he's going gateway first. Now, if he's in this location, for some reason, a lot of Protoss like to wall off at the ramp over here against me, just in case I'm Zerg. They're not sure. I think it's better to wall off in your main, but, some of them like to wall off here. So if I get to this location, it's a shorter distance from here to get to the natural cliff than it is, from over here. So once we get here, we can see both sides of the wall. So we just want to be safe with our overlords. We're playing a little bit greedy. We are actually going, in fact, hatch first. Now the reason we're doing this is we did spawn as random. Most players won't open up a forge against a random player. It's either going to be like a cheese, proxy 2-rex in the middle of the map, or it's going to be, just a gateway expand so they can play safe against all the races. Now we're playing with some luck and going with a hatch first. Now this is generally not a bad idea because we can assume he's not going to cheese, because if he was going 2-rex, it would be easier to defend it as Protoss or Terran, because as Terran you can just put up a wall, and as Protoss you can just get your mothership core and stalk around and kite the zealots around till the end of their life. So we're being a little bit careful. So 15 hatchery, 15 pool, and then we go ahead and drop 2 drones right after the spawning pool, and then an overlord. This is something that I've always done. I'm not sure if this is the optimal way, but I always go for 2 drones and then the overlord afterwards, because that gives me some larvae once the spawning pool finishes. I definitely want some larvae, because playing this greedy and not checking it for any proxies, just checking his base, which by the way he's not over here, so we immediately rally to the high ground and just use this, and we're gonna rally, through the main and try to go up here, which we end up being a mistake because you can't actually fly behind it. We're just gonna try to figure out exactly what's going on inside of his base. But we want some Zerglings to kind of roam around the map. We're gonna make 4 in this case. 4 is the reason we want. 4 is the amount we want. You can go up to 6, no higher than that, because we want 1 at the watchtower, 1 to kind of watch the front of his ramp and maybe poke around, and then 2 kind of patrolling the map. you can go up to 6. We see this probe. We can see him going over here, so we automatically rally our probes out. Now, despite knowing that there is a probe in this location, it doesn't mean that he's just there. He might have 2 probes on the map. So we're just going to play it standard. You can see that our probes are headed out, and then we're going to send them off in different directions. We're going to automatically rally them to where they need to go. So we got like a patrol going on over here. We got a patrol going on over here. We want to make sure that there's no place nearby that he can really see. And then we're going to take the watchtower with one of these zerglings, and we're going to go ahead and check out his base. Now we got a little bit of a supply block. It was kind of my mistake. I wasn't really paying attention. You know, I was just browsing the internet forums while I was playing this game. So that's definitely a big mistake on our part. It's a good thing that our injects are doing alright, because we're going to have to make a lot of larvae. Now we respond over here and we see that he's got 1 gas geyser and he's got 3 gateways. This is a very common and standard timing. Usually hits about 6 minutes and 30 seconds if you're really good. And it's designed to hit your 3rd base, which would either be here if I wanted, you know, if I wanted to be a little bit sneaky, because normally they would check in this location, because this is where your 3rd base would normally go, because it's farther away from the Protoss. I ended up putting mine here this game, because I wanted to be a little bit sneaky. So we know that this is designed to kill the 3rd, exploiting the fact that there's so much distance to creep to your 3rd, so it'll be harder for you to defend with your queens, and then the mineral investment, you're gonna have less units. So we decided not to take the 3rd base just in case we're gonna play a little bit safe. We're gonna drop the spore crawler, we're gonna drop some gas geysers, and we're gonna drop a roach one. Now the gas geyser timing is fairly alright. 5:30, if you're going for a gasless expo, is actually a pretty good gas timing, because it allows you to get a lot of things, you know, early on for defense, especially against this very popular, especially in Korea, 3-gate expand. I've seen this a lot on Korea when I was playing too, which I'm also about mid-master, high-master, so that's random. So we get our drones in the gas geysers right away, and then we drop our rush horn. We could have dropped it earlier, but we knew that we still had about like 30-40 seconds. So we were playing a little bit extra greedy, scouting out his gas geysers. I mean, this wasn't intentional, but it was nice to see that it was just building. We know that he's on his way. There's a pylon building, so we're just kind of, you know, we're not spending all our larvae. We're spending some of it just to finish out the 6 amount of workers we need. We're gonna build some more in a second, 4 more, 1 to go to the mineral patch, because we're gonna make a gas geyser, then 3 more to the natural gas, or the second gas, because we want 3 gas geysers for the specific play that I'm doing. We're just kind of scouting around, and we know that his mothership core isn't near our base yet, so we're not overly concerned. And that's one thing we were able to see, like his mothership core was over here, flying by a little bit earlier, and we don't really see anything warping in, so we're like, whatever. And because it's taking so long for the push to hit, you know, and here's the extra guys. We're actually gonna make a second spine crawler, so another drone over here. So 5 drones total. 1 just finished. There he goes. So because this is taking so long to hit, we're like, alright, well, what's going on? You know, so we're just kind of sitting here. We're going to try to send you back over to watch the ramp, and we're going to send you to the 3rd to check your 3rd timing. And this Zergling is still running around checking everything. This pylon doesn't bug us, you know, we're just going to go ahead and kill it, but it's not really much of a problem because we're just kind of seeing where the war pins are, and we have confirmed that now he has taken this expansion. Now this does trigger some things. First of all, some drones. Why are we getting 10 drones when we're close to saturation? Well, we know that we aren't, you know, really fully comfortable with grabbing a 3rd base yet. Although it would be alright to do so because he's gotten his 3rd base. I much rather want to get a few more drones and then drop my 3rd. Just in case it gets cancelled, I don't have that initial investment. I'm fine with this being a little bit later, going up to like 20 drones in the main and 20 in the natural. It's oversaturation, but then I can transfer 8 later on when this finishes, and then make 8 more and rally them over right before this is finished. And then I'll have 16 there mining, you know, the perfect time. Starter +1 and Zergling speed. So at this stage we decide, you know, we want to be aggressive. We send out our roaches to see what we can do. And we see that he's spending a lot of force fields and so forth. He doesn't have a lot of units, so he must be teching. We see the Twilight Council, so we're thinking, alright, well maybe it's Blink. Well, if it's Blink play, that means that there's certain things you might be weak to, like let's say you get a late Robo, so we get Tunneling Claws before Roach Speed. This actually ends up being a mistake, because we actually ended up forgetting Burrow. So this is a huge mistake on our part. Now we actually see that now we see that Dark Templar is over here, so we morph two Overseers right away. One to kind of keep here, we're making a Spore Crawler just in case, and one to send over here. But since that he doesn't actually end up attacking here, we take the Overseers with us. And when this was actually out of our vision, we weren't paying attention to this in our peripheral vision, so that was a big mistake. And our roaches are actually still over here attacking. So he messes up and actually has his DTs on attack, and we notice it and we save this, so we're like, oh yeah, let's go ahead and transfuse this and pull the workers out of here, get another Overseer. We see another little tiny warp in over here. We saw the shimmer and the probe, because now we're paying a little bit more attention to the mini-map, because we know, alright, what the hell's going on here. Keep an Overseer, and then just come back and defend this. And he's going for the hatchery, which is kind of nice, because it's got a lot of HP. We're making some drones, just enough to kind of, bring us back to what we need in terms of 2 base economy, and then we can drone up a little bit at the 3rd. We don't need too many, since I'm planning to do this timing attack with this failed no burrow, roaches. And we're gonna start the Zergling, or not the Zergling, the Roach reconstitution in just a second, so we can reinforce easier. Kill the pylons, spread some creep. There's a reconstitution, and we go ahead and go for the attack. We got 3 Overseers with us. We don't think he's actually going to come back into this. We've killed all forward pylons, and we're kind of looking at the army for shimmers. We know his army is here, so we just decide. So we're like, alright, so your army is out here, you can't force field us out, so we're just going to try to go up the ramp, force a photon overcharge, and then move down. But we don't actually know where his, there it is, his mothership core is right here. Because we're going to try to bait it here, and then come back, and then, go for the kill. We can pick the fight that we want. But we actually see that for all these gateways, there are only 2 pylons powering it, so that's definitely lucky on our part. So we dedicate some roaches to killing the pylons, and some for the defense. We had a lot more roaches on the way. We got the injects going, we're building more roaches. We got like 10 workers over here, we transferred some from the main, some from the natural, but depowering the pylons, or the gateways, we were definitely able to take the advantage in this game. He doesn't have a forge, so he's got no upgrades. We got our +1 attack. He was going for blink, we ended up cancelling it right before it finished. So that was nice on our part. The Dark Templar slowed down his blink, but it actually bought him a lot of time, so it was his own fault. It probably wasn't chrono boosting it. I mean, he's got a lot of chrono boost energy. He was definitely making some mistakes in that regard. But we were able to beat him, and he is a North American Grandmaster, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do like these videos, and if you do want me to do more on Zerg, I'm going to go ahead and do that. Drop a comment down below, and you guys have a wonderful day.